Hello everyone, this week we're in Parashat Shoftim. Shoftim means judges. What does it mean, judges? The beginning of the parasha is Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha bechol she'arecha. Judges and policemen you should put in all your gates. Rabbi Chaim Vital, the student of the Ari, teaches us that your gates, it means your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, which means the senses. Why do you have to put judges in your gates? Because the information we are taking in during our lives, during our day, during the week and so on, the information that we choose to take in, this information becomes the base of our worldview. The way we see the world is the way we choose to see the world. Which means, if I expose myself to positive information, to uplifting information, through my eyes, my ears, and so on and so forth, then my picture about the world will be positive. And there's a cause and effect. The moment I create a positive picture of the universe that is my life, more information that is coming in, usually we have the tendency to fit it into our worldview. Which means, people that have a positive view of the world around them, everything that comes in, they fit it in a positive picture of the world. What does it mean? These kind of people have the ability to take every piece of information and to create with these pieces of information, to create opportunities for growth spiritually, business-wise, relationships, because the commentary we make for all what happens to us is what we become. Now, if what we have in our mind, which means there's no objective worldview, it's only a biased picture. If this is the way, we understand that this is the way, let us create a positive view for the world we are in. How? You start with having control over what you put in. For instance, Rabbi Zakloria says a lot about not to look at pictures of violence, because that gives a lot of power to contaminate the view of our world. Today, unfortunately, through TV and computer, little kids see so much violence through the media. So, of course, what kind of a worldview we want them to have, unless we train them from early childhood not to be exposed, not to choose to be exposed to violence and pictures of violence or sounds of violence or grievance or any kind of negativity. What you put in, that's what you get out. The same thing as computers, garbage in, garbage out. If the moment we start to value the picture we create within by putting policemen and judges over our gates, then we start to control the picture that we have for the world around us. When we have that control, and when we learn to cultivate that picture through positive sounds, words of love, of wisdom and so on, positive pictures, everything that comes in has to be positive. When we have the ability to do that, we can start re-edit, change, transform the way we think about the world, and the surprise is that the world behaves to us the way we feel towards the world itself. So, by cultivating a positive picture within, we start to train the world around us to behave towards us in a different way, in a more positive way. That's one thing. Another thing is that the Zohar itself speaks about Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha bechol she'arecha. Policemen and judges you should put in your gates, at your gates. And here we're talking about that it is a precept, a biblical mitzvah, to appoint policemen and judges. But that has a deep meaning. The moment the Torah tells us that it is a mitzvah, and we explained the consciousness of a mitzvah many times before. Mitzvah, a precept, it's not a commandment, it's not a tzivui, it is a mitzvah, it's coming from the word letzavet, which means to team. It's an action that is teamed with consciousness of uniting a spiritual consciousness of light, love, and positivity with a physical action. Which means if policemen and judges would be aware, no matter where they are, that it is a mitzvah, a biblical mitzvah, to be a policeman or a judge, to carry the job, which means they have a duty to bring in the light of God into what they do. If these people would have that consciousness, society would look totally different. The problem is that these people think that this is the appointment because of their ego, different levels of ego. Could be a responsibility kind of an ego, could be pride kind of an ego, doesn't matter. There's no place for an ego like this. If you understand that as a policeman or as a judge, you are a messenger of the Word of God, you're a messenger of the law of the creation, it is totally different. And because people think that they are appointed to be in that position because they are stronger, wiser, more connected, whatever, the result is that even in the most advanced countries in the world, the people, society does not feel that the police system and the judging system are functioning properly. And that will have a price. That will have to change. Especially in this decade, that what used to work, somehow, what was fake and used to work, cannot go on the same way. Same way the economy and old structures in modern society are crumbling now, and new are starting to evolve out of them. The same thing will be with the police system and the judging system that are not connected to spirituality and to spiritual awareness, to the mission of what the Zohar is talking about. Now, one more thing that the Zohar says, there's another understanding for the word judges. Now, in Hebrew there are two words for the word judge. Shofet, Dayan. Shofet is one word, Dayan is another word. The word judge is a translation of the word in Hebrew Dayan, which comes from the word din, judgment. However, the word shofet, I cannot find a word in English for that. And the Zohar explains to us in full detail how the word shofet means not somebody who judges people, which means, what does it mean, judgment? Judgment means to put an end. Somebody is a criminal, we have to put an end for his actions. You have to lock him in. You have to show the world that he cannot move on, go on doing what he was doing. However, the word in Hebrew is shofet, usually, not dayan. And as Zohar explains that shofet comes from the word mishpat, which means to balance. To balance. The job of the judge, really not the judge, but a shofet, is not to judge the criminal. The job of the judge, the shofet, is to rebalance the person that went off the road. Why? How many people sit in jail in the American system? Over 2 million. And because of that, there's no more crime. So as long as the American society had enough money to pay for it, okay. But do you understand what does it mean to pay for over 2 million people in the jail system? This money can can feed so many kids, hungry kids in hungry countries. Something is wrong with the system. Only when the judge understands that his job is to balance the person that is part of society, not to take a revenge, not to stop him, but to transform him, to bring him back to a place that is healed, and so he can go back to society and fix his soul. Only then the system can move on. Also, when we judge other people, we're not supposed to judge. We're supposed to help people to come back to balance. How to do it? What's the connection to this month of Elul, Virgo, before the high holidays, before New Year is starting? That in length we'll find in the classes on the site. Thank you and have a great week.